Hey everybody, what's up? Hope you're doing well out there in the Starfield. I have a tutorial for you today, how to make floating habs and structures at your outposts. This is a vanilla game exploit that doesn't require any mods. And the process is very straightforward. If you can stack it, then you can float it. You need to use a double square for stacking habs because the Outpost builder won't let you just put one on top of another with no connection point. And then, once you have them stacked, grab the lower hab, move it out from underneath by dragging it away, and then place it somewhere else. And when you do that, the foundation on the upper hab will not spawn. If you just delete the lower hab, the foundation will spawn. The only exception to this rule that I have found so far is the round hydroponic hab, when you delete the large round science hab from underneath it. All the others spawn their foundations when the lower hab is deleted instead of moved. Here's just a couple more examples. The only hab that I haven't been able to float so far is the small hex hab, and the large hex hab needs the large round science hab underneath it to block the foundation. So, just play around with the build menu and see what kind of structures you can make. Another thing you can float using this exploit is the Outpost airlock. I've made a couple of balconies this way, but by far my favorite application for the floating airlock is to put it right up against the side of the shipbuilder landing pad and just be able to walk straight from the landing pad into my outpost habs. I'll show you how to do that next. With this setup, I'm showing the spacing I use. From the double hab, the two hallways, and the airlock with its platform is about the same width as the angled square hydro hab. Keep that in mind, but we actually need to place the landing pad first because its height can't be manually adjusted. It kind of floats over the terrain until it's placed. So first, get the landing pad where you want it, and then we're going to bring the hydroponic hab over right next to it. We're going to use it as the height marker, and I find that easier to do while I'm standing on the landing pad. And we want to place this fairly close to the side of the landing pad, almost but not quite touching, although I could have put it a little closer than I did here. And then we can line up that bottom support beam with the side of the landing pad where we want the airlock to be. And then rotate the hab so that it's facing straight on to the landing pad. Then we need to either delete or move the landing pad away so that we have enough space to stack the airlocks. I'm just moving it. And then we attach the top of the double hab behind the hydro. And now we don't need the hydroponic hab anymore, so I can just delete it. And then we're going to put the hallway spacers on and then stack the airlocks. Then pull the bottom airlock out, place it somewhere else, and then delete it, and then we can grab the landing pad and bring it back over. This is the tricky part because you can't zoom in to see exactly where the edge of the landing pad is, so I'm just going to go back and forth here a couple times between placing it and looking at it to see how close I got it. And I wanted it a little closer, so I played around with moving the landing pad until I got it closer to where I wanted it to be. This is about as close as I could get it because of where I lined up the hydroponic hab for the airlock height. If I try to put the landing pad any closer, the terrain forces it to collide. Okay, and then the last thing I do is move the outpost beacon to the landing pad, so when I come back to this outpost, I will spawn right here, and then I can walk straight into my outpost buildings. A quick word of caution, I have in the past had characters with glitchy outposts, and when I moved the beacon, my outpost disappeared from the planet map. So always make a save before you do something like this, just in case. If something goes wrong, you'll be able to recover it. That's all for this tutorial. I hope it helps you with your outpost building activities. If you have any questions or comments, drop me a line. Thanks for watching. Catch a smile out there.